Ladies, gents, how's it going? Gary Prout here. Today we have another Gallantry reaction video. Why is it called Gallantry reaction videos? Well, back in 2010, I received Britain's second highest award for gallantry. I spent 12 years in the British Army. My job was to call in the fire strikes, so things like artillery, mortars, attack helicopter. My team would be responsible for having the joint effects kind of impact on the ground. And whenever I've been doing these reaction videos, sometimes I've been able to bring to life some of the behaviors, some of the feelings that recipients of significant gallantry awards have when doing these interviews. As quite a few of the old sayings go, that medals don't just glisten and shine, sometimes they cast shadows. So it's just that awareness of it. And sometimes my tactical insight of what's happening on the ground, because I've worked with so many different infantry companies and different elements of the armed forces, sometimes it gives me a bit of a unique insight. So I hope you're enjoying what you're seeing so far. The subscription tends to say that, yes, people don't hate the sound of my voice. It's a Belfast accent for those of you who are interested. But yes, let's watch the show and see where this takes us. I'm always left speechless at the end, so I try to get my words in beforehand. Incredible people in the world.
You have to be incredibly resilient. You have to be hardworking. They're the toughest men on the face of this planet. Any mission they're given, they'll succeed at it. And ultimately, they're our brothers. So if they have to,
Wow. So I don't know a lot about American awards, but I'm guessing that one on the right there, that's the Purple Heart, and it's got a star on it, which I think that means it's a double award. It's like our clasps that we would get on our awards. The one that's left, is that a silver star? The Fee for Valor, which is significant, and has that been awarded 4 times? And then you've got Fee and multiple recognitions on all of the other awards. Please, if you can break this medal grouping down for me, please write it below, and I'll pin it to the top, because this, especially in a world like the SEALs where everybody does incredible things, this is a huge kind of representation of what this individual's been through. Wow, that's.
if you talk to her one-on-one, she'll tell you the 5 different nicknames she has of me, and I don't think one of them includes hero. People that I consider the heroes are the men I work with, and in particular, Nick Check. This award, surrounds a specific mission that we did, and in that mission, Nick Check was ultimately killed. The mission that night was a hostage rescue mission. So to us, that is a no-fail mission. Our objective, our goal is to bring back an American hostage alive. So that night was December 8th in eastern Afghanistan, and it was a cold night. And when we got off the helicopters, we did about a 4 or 5 hour, pretty arduous hike through the mountains. And upon getting to our target building where we assumed where the American hostage was at, our point man, Nick Check, he was right in front of me. He saw a guard come out of the door, and he engaged that guard, and we started sprinting towards the door. Nick made his way in, and then I made my way in right behind him, and I went down my wall, and I engaged one of the enemy that was on the back side of the wall. And then I saw another person moving across the floor. So by the time I got to him, he was on his back, and I was able to get it down on top of him and straddle him. pin him down with my knees, and I had to adjust my night vision to try to get some facial recognition. At the same time this is happening, calling out, trying to find the location of the American hostage. And finally, he spoke up, and it was at that time that I engaged the person I was on top of and jumped off the guy I was on and onto the doctor, who was about 3 or 4, maybe 5 feet away from me to my right.
Sometimes I get frustrated with how good night vision looks on TV, and what he described there is one of the absolute kind of challenges of it is sometimes depth perception, depending on what one you're wearing. Other times that ability to clearly identify who you are looking at and what it is they're why is it they're there. It sounds like because that person was on the ground and moving, he thought it could have potentially been a hostage, and that's why he was just pinning to begin. And it wasn't until the hostage spoke up, that's when I knew that, here, this geezer you're wrestling here, he's not one of our ones. Let's take him out of the equation. Unbelievable. But also that ability to get up to the building. They would have rehearsed this, actions on somebody come through the door, they've dropped them, and they've just launched from what was not an ideal position. But the fact that they had rehearsed it and they knew each other that well, they were able to carry out the execution there and then straight away. It's just all of these amazing things that great teams do. As soon as the plan doesn't survive, they all do the right thing in sequence and make it work. Superb stuff.
And the reason I did that is because I'm wearing body armor, so I want to protect him from any other potential threats in the room. Anyone who's been in combat knows that in those moments you either react or you get killed. When I did that, there was a guy who was right behind him within arm's reach, who was armed, and I was able to pin that guy to the wall by his throat while I'm kind of, holding the doctor and waiting for my teammates to come in and take care of that threat that was right next to us. Once that was done, I still laid on top of him. I kept asking him, like, hey, can you walk? And is there anything medically wrong with you? Because our goal is to bring this guy back alive. So he said he was fine. And once we got outside, I noticed that our medics were working on Nick, and being a medic myself, I passed off the American hostage off to our other teammates, and I went over to work on Nick, and we did resuscitative efforts on him all the way till the hospital.
This is one of the complete paradoxes of being within the armed forces. On one hand, you're absolutely caring. You want to do as much as you can for your pals, for civilians, for hostages, people who are in danger. And on the other side, you have to be an absolute badass, a completely ruthless person who will not hesitate, who will not pause, because the second you do, as he said, you get killed. So you have to balance this, and that ability to switch from being hugely caring to hugely ruthless. It's one of the skills that the military gets, and I very rarely see it within any other kind of business. That ability to just switch from one side of that paradox straight across to the other, and to do it constantly. It's something that is an absolute necessity. If you could tell me how we generate that capability, I would really struggle to say it, but I think we just care. We just care so much that it makes us ruthless against the bad guys. We care so much that it means that we're amazing whenever it comes to helping those around us.
And where he was announced dead there. Nick was embodied the essence of what it is to me, an American hero. He will forever be remembered in the pages of history for the sacrifices that he made.
Complete projection. talk down all of his pieces. This is just such a common theme. Talks down his input, talks about what the team did around him, talks about the sacrifice of others.
It's been almost, a little over 3 years since that mission happened. And it wasn't until December that you finally get a call from the president's office saying, can you take a call, from the president at this time and at this date? And my initial reaction was, does anyone actually ever say no to this? It wasn't until he called and I got to speak to him and he said, congratulations, I looked at your award and I'm approving you to receive the Congressional Medal of Honor. And that's when it's like, okay, this is real. When I called my mom that night and told her, I gotta love my mom. Her first question out of her mouth was, do you think I'll be able to come to it? And I was like, of course, Mom. I'm pretty sure you're gonna be allowed to come.
So I didn't actually tell my parents what job I did in the armed forces. I told them that I was working at a desk. I told them I was just sitting on the radio. And I can remember honors and awards coming around, and I was basically told the week before, look, you're going to get something. It's not insignificant. It's a really high award. You better let your family know, because I'm from Northern Ireland. There's a bit of a security risk there. So I got in touch with my mum and dad, and I basically said, look, the British Army want to bring you across to London. There's going to be an event next Friday. It's to do with stuff that I did in Afghanistan. We just need to make sure that we've got everything in the right place for you guys to come across, and it's not going to endanger any of us. So my parents came across, and they read out a small kind of paragraph from my citation. I went up. I collected the citation itself because you have to wait for the actual investiture to get your award. And I can remember just being taken from the citation. The reading out of the awards got put in a room. There was about 20 of us who had received awards, and the press just had created all of these little kind of hollow kind of circles, and we would just go from group to group. And they were just asking us question after question on the job we'd done, and I can remember getting to the end of the first round robin with these members of the press, and one of them stopped looking at me, and he was looking kind of behind me, and he turned around and he said, are you Mrs. Prout? And turned around to my mum, and my mum went, yeah. And he went, you look quite surprised. And my mum turned around and said, I thought he was working at a desk. And the next day it was front page of the newspaper, cheesy headline: mother thought hero son worked at a desk. And that thing about the parents almost being disconnected from it and coming out with funny things, that was just my kind of whole day. I went from being that kid who grew up at a council estate, which is like social housing in the States, to being presented to the Queen because I'd done something in my service. And it's really weird. It's weird to take your loved ones on that journey. Hugely humbling, but very special at the same time. Probably more than I've ever said about my award on this.
So my initial reaction to it was, that I felt very honored and very humbled, because now I'm going to be a representative for the Navy and Naval Special Warfare community. And there's a weight that carries with it, and that weight is the sacrifices that everybody has made within this community. Guys like Nick Check and all of our other brothers who have fallen, it's an affirmation, once again, of the job that we do.
I'm going to build on that. Why do you feel that kind of weight? Well, it's absolutely because when you've been in these kind of experiences, you know that lots of people deserve these awards. If you could give them out to everyone that deserved them, there would be a hell of a lot of them around. They're not given out. So whenever you do receive one, you feel like you're representative to everybody who should have got one as well. And like he says, there's a lot of people.
An appreciation for the job that we do. I would not be able to do this job if it wasn't for the support of my family. It's impossible. They don't get any of the credit, you know, so it's a team in every aspect, at work and at home. Well, I'm going to continue being a SEAL, and I'm going to take whatever job or mission is next for me and just continue doing that. I don't have any plans on changing my job at this time. So, but I still love what I do, and as long as I'm still loving what I do, I'm going to continue doing.
Younger than me. 2 years younger. Killed in 2012. Unbelievable. Ladies, gents, again, I hope, like I say many times, not that you enjoyed that, but I hope that I brought to life somebody's memory, hopefully, somebody's experiences in receiving that significant award, and maybe brought to life some of the reasons we hear this continual theme of. I'm a representative. I'm carrying a burden. There's lots of other people who should be receiving this, but absolutely don't. If you haven't already, please bang that subscribe button. I'm overwhelmed that we're up to nearly 650 people already, so please bang it, hit that notifications button. I'm going to try to squeeze out a few videos, so I might be wearing the same clothes here, and I'm going to schedule them through the week because I'm quite busy over the next few weeks. Thanks once again for checking in, and I hope to see you all very soon. Have a good day. Cheers.